Good afternoon everyone. أحب اللغة العربية، أحب أتكلم بالعربي بس تعذروني. We have non-Arabic speaking on our panel, so we'll go with English. Before going to the topic, I would like really to congratulate Jordan and also EnTaj on a very successful event. I'm always impressed when I come to Jordan. I used to be in the board of Omnia a few years back, and when I visited my first visit to Omnia, at that time Ihab Hannawi was the CEO of the company, and he took us as a board to see the facilities, the exchanges, the buildings, the people, and it was very impressive setup at that time. When we went back to the boardroom, I said, Ihab, excuse me, the most impressive thing you have at Omnia is the Jordanian talent that you have. And I really congratulate Jordan for a great talent that you have, and every time I come, I really get impressed. So, umbrella organizations and their impact. And I personally is part of WITSA. I'm on the board. I'm part of the Arab ICT Union. And I was always impressed that working together as organizations or individual results and impacts a lot. So there is a big impact that we can see to the society, to the community, to the economy. And today we have three organizations. So we have WITSA, which is international and it is the organization of the organizations. And we have EiTESAL in Egypt, which covers the ICT companies in Egypt. And we have Arab ICT Union, which focuses on the Arab region. So everybody is trying to bring everybody together and have synergies among them. So this is really very interesting because we need to know today, why are we doing this? What's the impact? So I will start with the direct question, which is the title of the topic. What's the impact of WITSA?
Thank you, Ahmed. And thank you again to Nidal EnTaj for the opportunity to revisit the MENA ICT Forum and Jordan. Love it here. And the last time I was here 2 years ago, I still remember Petra, Jerash, all of the wonderful things outside of this forum. So if you are a foreign visitor and you've not seen these wonderful, iconic aspects of Jordan, you should really go out there. So now, the answer to your question is, I think, can be found perhaps in this African proverb. I understand that it came from Africa. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So, yeah, I think if we want to do things individually, perhaps we can go faster. But if we want to do things that have a far larger impact, then it makes sense to go together. In that sense, then, about 46 years ago, some very, shall we say, smart individuals and organizations that they led came together to say that we needed a global alliance that brings together the national tech associations from different parts of the world. And in 1978, they formed WITSA. And it started with the signature platform called the World Congress on Innovation and Technology. Since then, we have expanded that to now include 8 platforms. And just this year in Armenia, we had the inaugural session of the WITSA World Cup, which is a global pitching tournament for tech scale-ups to uncover the next tech unicorns. So now, what's the impact of a global umbrella organization? I think of them as, first, economic growth. Obviously, that is vital. That is at the center of the things that we as tech companies, as tech ecosystems, as the industry seek to bring. So economic growth, economic development through jobs that are high value that we bring to the ecosystems in which we impact. And that is through the associations and their respective members that are the tech companies. So WITSA, in that respect, has 80 members only from countries and economies around the world, covering 6 continents. Each of these, in turn, have hundreds, if not thousands, of members. So, for example, here in Jordan, InTouch is our member. In Bahrain is BTEC. In Egypt is EiTESAL. In the US, it's CTA, et cetera, et cetera. So first is economic growth. Second is global opportunities. I think that is critical because global opportunities allow us to then bring on board whether it is the measure of the impact or the fact that we can connect investors, tech companies, stakeholders, and talent together. Third is going to be transformation, digital transformation, and increasingly through AI, and I'll talk a bit more about that shortly. The fourth is global solutions. The recognizing the solutions that come from the companies through our global awards is a way in which we bring this and catalyze these global solutions. I'll pause and pass the time on to my other colleagues.
Thank you. So, Hossam, Egypt is a very interesting country. It has been in the development of ICT for a long time. Also, you have very good resources and you have major achievement as individuals, companies see. So how EiTESAL made the change and the impact to the companies and to the economy of Egypt?
Thank you for the question and thanks for the invitation. And actually, EiTESAL itself in Egypt is, we can consider it as an umbrella organization. You know, Egypt is relatively large in geography. So we have smaller NGOs across the government. So EiTESAL, for instance, is, I can say, is the mother of smaller ICT NGOs in Alexandria, in Mansoura, in Upper Egypt, in Asyut. So we are an umbrella organization in Egypt working on the national transformation as a major pillar, working on the national economy, the digital transformation, of course, as Dan said, and a lot of other programs cooperating as the umbrella organization on the national level. And on the regional level, of course, we are very proud to be part of the Arab ICT Union. On content level, we are part of AFECTA in Africa as an umbrella organization. And on the global level, of course, we are very proud of being the vice chairman of WITSA. And if we are talking about the impact, I think I don't want to repeat what Mr. Dan said already, but what we are witnessing here with the kind of invitation from InTouch, inviting all of us, sister organizations, sister NGOs, and having a way of collaboration, discussion, networking, looking at the MENA region, Middle East, North Africa perspective, and each of our organization already in charge of a lot of companies inside their countries. So, I mean, cooperating, exchanging information here, talking about the future, the AI, how can we cooperate together on a regional level. I think this is a major impact and we need to leverage more.
Thank you, Hossam. Ubaydli, and I always consider Ubaydli as the godfather of many things, including one of them is the Arab ICT Union, and we are honored that we have you here. Arab ICT Union, it's maybe fairly younger than many of these organizations, and I think it was a long due thing to do. And there are some, I'm sure we can do lots of impacts on the Arab region through Arab ICT Union. So what's your thoughts about that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Hujairy. I'm happy to be here, but for the last 2 days, we've been talking about IT. Anybody here knows Al-Muhallab bin Abi Sufra?
Read the listen.
Al-Muhallab bin Abi Sufra. Hey, Sha'ir. Very famous, and he has a very nice poem. تأبى الرماح إذا اجتمعنا تكسرا وإذا افترقنا تكسرنا أفرادا. So for me, an umbrella organization that when you put all the sticks together, and you have a very strong organization because you have to put the sticks together. You have a very good bundle of sticks. Each one of them has its entity, but they operate together. Now, again, another Arab verb say, الضعيف سيد الركب. So anybody who's traveling, I mean, in a caravan, has to go with the mood of the weakest, not the fastest. So as an Arab ICT union, I look into this as one organization, but with different, let's say, capabilities. And I usually look after the weakest more than the strongest. And that is the importance of a leader. The leader should identify what is the, let's say, capabilities, the skills of each individual organization he leads. Now we have, I mean, a cocktail of organization. Big organization like EiTESAL, very big Arab organization. They have good history, good experience, good skill. In the middle, we have something like Intaj. And at the very bottom, we have a small country, but beautiful, which is Bahrain. Young generation, young nation with, again, good skills and good education system. So when I operate as a leader for the Arab ICT Union, I take this into consideration.
Thank you, Ubaydli. So, Dan, if we look at the future, like 5 years from now, now we are at the age of AI and data. What would be your, like, the opportunity that you see that WITSA should take from now and make sure that it has the highest impact? And impacts, of course, because you are the world, so impacts really the world in a very positive way. What would be what would you see?
So I bring with me experience that is entrepreneurial, in that I was in the tech industry. I've had the good fortune of having had 2 exits. One in taking as a minority shareholder a company on an IPO at the worst of times, at the Asian currency crisis. And then, right after that, I parlayed the sale of my stake and took that to a .com company and sold that to a NASDAQ-listed company at the height of the .com boom, where the valuation was on a revenue multiple. So that was the best of times. That then led me to a government-type situation. I went to Silicon Valley in an NGO role today. So in that sense, then, I bring that up because during the internet, it was a wonderful time because it was like the gold rush. And that, it makes me think of the 5 key stages of the gold rush, which is, first of all, the exploration and discovery of gold. That led to then the initial rush in the infrastructure development, where the shovels and all of the services that were provided to the gold miners became the big thing. And the internet, age of the internet, it was Sun Microsystems, Netscape, which today don't exist anymore because they moved on. That led to the 3rd stage, which was settling and expansion. The 4th stage is industrialization. The 5th stage, in my mind, is about global consolidation and niche development. Why is that important? Because I believe we can apply the same principles to the age of AI. And if we were to do that, you can see that in the market capitalization of companies like NVIDIA are in the trillions of dollars. It is about the infrastructure, because the infrastructure comes first, and these are the ones that benefit the most. But if we are looking forward to say, where is the opportunity for the young entrepreneurs, for the companies that are coming after the infra players and the shovel makers, where is that opportunity? I believe we're in this golden period of industrialization. 2025 to 2035, the next 10 years, we'll see the rise, and I believe in something called agentic AI. And that is where I think we've talked about that a little bit, the use of AI to create multiples of a digital amplifiable entity. So I'll talk a bit more about this in Bahrain when next part of it. But really, it is going to be wonderful in that you can take these agentic elements, AI agents, that I think part of that was also discussed in the afternoon session during the Ministry of Tourism officer who talked about, for example, how the digital employees could come in and do a variety of things, getting the sentiment analysis done to understand what people are talking about in terms of tourists that are coming into Jordan so that they can do one aspect of that, and at the same time also help people plan their hidden gems of Jordan. I take away that you are on the right path in thinking about some of these things. You may not think of it in terms of agentic AI, but certainly there's going to be a key opportunity. But more than that, the industrialization phase of the gold rush in terms of the age of AI, I think will lead to more and more of the usage, deployment, creation, and that shift is critical from consumption to production. Instead of just consuming AI products, but to creating AI products, but more, not just for the large entities and corporations, but also the small and medium-sized businesses. I think that's going to be critical. The hundreds of thousands, millions, maybe even billions of agents getting into the hands of the users that are to come.
Thank you, Dan. Infrastructure is the basis of everything. I agree. So when we say Egypt, everybody says pyramids. But that's pyramids is history. So again, the same thing. What would you see Egypt should do, the Egyptian company, the Egyptian talent? What could it do as a change in the Arab world, in the international world, on the ICT sector that in the next 5 years, let's say, we are something we are very proud of? What would you push and advise every company in Egypt? And even if you want to go beyond Egypt, what should we focus on? Because again, we always had a challenge. I will say in the Gulf, for example, we were always a consumer, not a producer. And what just Dan mentioned is going more on the development and producing rather than just consumer. So what's your thoughts?
I will answer this question from the perspective of the title of the panel, which is, again, the umbrella organization and the kind of cooperation and the kind of So I'll give 2 or 3 examples just because each and every organization of us as an NGO, the main interest is to serve our members. So EiTESAL, main interest is to serve the Jordanian companies as members, Arab ICT, the organization under which BTEC in Bahrain, and so on. So from EiTESAL perspective and from the regional cooperation perspective, I think the future lies more and more into the cooperation because with the fast pace of technology and a lot of newcomers, startups, large companies, small companies, a lot of disruptive technology, I think the cooperation is the key. So for instance, Dan and myself, we just are coming from Cairo for another event discussing AI earlier this week. Last month, we had a mission for the Egyptian companies with a matchmaking with Saudi IT companies to cooperate together, not for everyone to sell to the other. The cooperation is the key. I mean, we are very humbled and very honored to have some companies from Gaza, from Palestine, now in Egypt, and we are trying to help them as much as we can, giving our bandwidth and capabilities. So that kind of cooperation, I think, this is the key I would like to stress, irrespective of what kind of technology, whether a fintech like the last panel we were discussing, whether it's AI and everybody's talking about AI, whatever the technology is, the cooperation is the key. It's not a matter of, because in the old days, I mean, each company or each country was trying to sell to the other country. I mean, right now the world is changing, so cooperation is the key. And again, we are very proud of being part of the Arab ICT Union, who give us the platform and the chance of cooperating with organization in the region on various levels like INTAJ here, and of course on a global basis like WITSA. Thank you.
So, Ubaydli, Arab ICT Union, it means that all the Arab states are looking forward to the Arab ICT Union through supporting the growth of AICT utilization. Again, we're talking about development. So how do you see the Arab ICT Union impacting positively the Arab countries from the current state we have now in IT, not politics,
No, you asked for it.
to become a pioneer and a leader in ICT and really recognized as a major leader?
What comes to my mind, Ahmed, here, الحديث النبوي اطلبوا العلم ولا في الصين. So instead to have looking to the US or to the West, let's go to the East. I think when it comes to AI, we talk about China, Taiwan, Malaysia. But apart from all this, I think, first of all, we have to identify our needs. I mean, whether you want to apply AI, cybersecurity, don't photocopy or imitate what the others have done. Think of your needs. What do you need this for? That's number one. Number two, believe in your capabilities. And when it comes to IT now, it is human resources. So we have to develop skilled, top of the range human resources that can compete. First of all, to satisfy our needs. Second, to compete in the international market, because now the market is global, it's not anymore regional or local. And this will take you, whether you like it or not, to our educational system. I think the main barrier against us as developers or as an ICT companies is our educational system. Still, the way we are teaching our kids is 17th or 18th century model or content or approach. So it is time to look into our educational system and to really look into it radically with the appetite to change, not to photocopy or to imitate. Because if you import educational system, there's no way you will be smart, skilled, or innovative in any fields in the ICT, whether it's AI, cybersecurity, or whatever you want to mention. So it is you whom you should start with.
So then Ubaydli brought really a point to my final question. And he pointed that reforming the education system or re-engineering the education system will be the biggest impact to. So it's a challenge to be basically. If it's not changed, we will not be able to achieve the targets of the Arab ICT Union. So in your opinion, what is the biggest challenge for WITSA that it is stopping it going faster?
So we have an initiative today that is called WITSA Again, the Global AI Ecosystem Network. And within that, there is a framework that has 7 components. We talked about infrastructure. That is certainly a key aspect of that. Talent is obviously critical. So education, now from upstream to downstream, meaning that if you start from the STEM education and the ways in which the curriculum has to change at the school level, all the way down to even the latent workforce, the people who have perhaps retired or the ones who are not working, who want to re-enter the workforce. These are all forms of talent that is critical to mobilize, because you have to have people who are reskilled, upskilled, otherwise they're left behind, and you have a very unhappy workforce that can lead to and foment unrest. So talent and talent development, reskilling, upskilling is critical. But the other 5 components include policy. So what kinds of government policy would lead to perhaps investments not just in education, but also in the entrepreneurship that needs to be done to create these jobs, to generate the innovation critical so that we can not just talk about the consumption, but also creation and production of AI innovations. But not to forget as well, data. Data strategy is critical because it is not just your corporate data that could be proprietary, it could be government open data. It could be data that is scraped from the internet. And increasingly, even synthetic data that is generated by AI for the training of models. So data, entrepreneurs, talent, policy, use cases for the vertical industries. Where is that going? Is it tourism? Is it going to be in fintech? Is it going to be in healthcare or education, etc.? And finally, the model you want to use to develop the country. Is it going to be foreign direct investment led? Or is it going to be domestic investment led? Or a combination of the two? Perhaps. I think of examples like maybe Southeast Asia tends to have foreign direct investments come in to create wealth and jobs. But look at countries like Japan and Korea. They have led with the domestic brands, Samsungs to the Sonys. So is it enough to just say, this is my path? The other path perhaps could be another option, so that you have a more of a hybrid approach. So education and talent development is critical, but the other 6 are, I believe, just as important.
Some challenges.
The talent development, I think this is number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, because if we solve this, I think the data, the infrastructure, the regulatory framework will come. And again, I would like to give a very bright example here. We witnessed it together yesterday in the gala dinner. We had the pleasure actually of having 3 beautiful students joining in our table. The 3 students were from Princess Sumaya University. I'm not sure if they are in the room or not, but actually having the interesting conversation with them, those young people are coming to this kind of platforms. They are working in very advanced technologies like AI, they are computer science technology, and they can give us a hope that our young people and the young generations are really coping with the new trends. They are eager to come and learn, hear from people, interact with companies, see what's going on. So this example, I think, if we have 30,000, 3 million, like those 3 people we met yesterday, I think the future is bright in our region. Thank you.
Ubaydli, we have a little bit time being flashed, so please.
You know, any geometrical shape goes with triangle. Triangle. So I have the angles of that triangle. 3 P's: be proactive, be professional, and be proud of yourself. Proud is not arrogancy. That's the big difference. And I think if we have these 3 P's in our mind, we can be an innovative nation worldwide. And definitely we have the capabilities, we have the raw material, we have the capital, which is the human capital, and we have the strategic location worldwide. So if we become proactive, professional, and proud of ourselves, we have a say in the global market of the ICT world.
Thank you. So you see, although we're saying umbrella organization, and umbrella organization work with the concept of cooperation and working together, but also the fact that companies and countries compete. So having this nice system of collaborating when you can collaborate, but also keeping a healthy competition is good, and this is very important for the development. Thank you very much, and applause to our panelists. Thank you.